Hello, great patriots. Thank you so much for joining us here at the newsroom. And today I have a breaking news story. This one comes courtesy of goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. And it has to do with the Supreme Court and affirmative action. They're finally doing something about it. So it says Supreme Court may overturn affirmative action at universities and colleges regarding admissions. So this is what's going to happen. And it says affirmative action will be thrown into the spotlight next week as the Supreme Court prepares to hear two different cases. The first one is Students for Fair Admissions versus Harvard. And the second one is Students for Fair Admissions versus the University of North Carolina. It says a ruling on the two cases by the conservative court would reverse 40 years of precedent regarding race-conscious admissions to colleges and universities. So affirmative action is an extremely racist policy that has been going on for a very, very long time in colleges and universities. Because you're an illegal alien protected by DACA, you get better treatment and you get thrown to the top of the pile instead of an American student. That is what happens with affirmative action. Not only that, but other things too. Any type of preference or special treatment based on race should not happen, whichever way you want to look at it. It should not benefit anybody. Race should not benefit whites, blacks, Hispanics, anybody. It does not matter. What matters is, are we getting the brightest students, no matter who they are? Are we getting the brightest students in there? Are we getting the brightest American students in there? Whether they're brown or black or blue or whatever they are, it does not matter. Are we getting the best of the best that America has into those colleges and universities to make sure that they come out and change not only America, but the world? That is what's important. But according to the leftists, according to the Democrats, none of that stuff matters. We don't care about the best of the best. We want to make sure that for every 5 students, X amount has to be this race, X amount has to be that race, and X amount has to be that race. That's not how things work. So for those that do not know what affirmative action is, affirmative action broadly refers to policies that favor individuals of certain races and backgrounds who, quote unquote, have been subjected to previous discrimination. Now, there's no proof to that. So if you're a person of color, you get preference. And that's that. That's how affirmative action was. So the two cases that are going to be heard by the Supreme Court next week. So here's the first one. Students for Fair Admissions, a nonprofit formed by conservative activist Edward Blum, initially sued Harvard and UNC in 2014. So they've been fighting it for a very long time, alleging that the schools illegally discriminate against Asian American and white applicants. That's what happens with affirmative action. They don't get the best of the best. Asian Americans were getting discriminated against and thrown to the bottom of the pile, along with white students and others, just to put other minorities on top of them. The Students for Fair Admissions, the group, argued that Asian American applicants are held to a higher academic standard than any other student in Harvard's application process. So when they screen Asian American students, they want to get the 1% of the 1%, and that is who they're going to admit. Compared to other races of students that they just say, oh, well, they have a last name, blah, blah, blah. Or they look like this, and boom, they go straight in. The group argued that Asian Americans are disadvantaged in the application process due to receiving lower personal ratings and are admitted at a lower rate than white applicants despite having higher test scores on average. It goes on to say that the SFFA said that the consideration of race in the admissions process violates the constitutional Equal Protections Clause. The group is now asking the court to overturn Grutter versus Bollinger, or in other words, affirmative action. It says Grutter's core holding that universities can use race in admission to pursue student body quote unquote diversity is plainly wrong, according to the SFFA. That is what they wrote on their court papers. This is the challengers say that their case against Harvard policy gives the court an ideal vehicle for reevaluating its stance on affirmative action given the school's outsized role in past rulings. Harvard, in court papers, denies that its policy is discriminatory. The school accused the SFFA of seeking to upend decades of precedent allowing schools to promote on-campus diversity. In the UNC case, the challenger argues that the college is discriminating against white applicants. After losing both 2014 cases in the lower courts, the SFFA appealed to the Supreme Court, which will hear the oral arguments starting next Monday. So that's what's going on right now, folks. Affirmative action on the chopping block, and it will be overturned because affirmative action is extremely racist. Nobody should be given more privilege just because of you're a certain race, or you have a certain last name, or you're illegally in the country and just being protected by an equally illegal executive order like DACA. Those things should never ever happen. Universities should get the best of the best Americans we can possibly have in order to represent us on the world stage. But let us know what you guys think about this whole situation. Should the Supreme Court overturn affirmative action? We want to know what you guys think. Don't forget to also click the thumbs up button. Let us know in the comment section below. And visit our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Are you guys on board with this? Overturning affirmative action? Do you guys know anybody that has applied to an Ivy League or even any type of university or college and have been denied because of race? Or do you guys know any student that has been approved only because of race? It had nothing to do with test scores. It has nothing to do with their actual application. Just because they have a certain last name, or they look a certain way, or they came from a certain place, they got admission thrown to the top of the pile and accepted. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us, and I hope that you join us on the next one, because we're going to be talking about a extremely corrupt Democrat senator that is now under federal investigation once again. He was under federal investigation back in 2017, then in 2017, and now he's under investigation once again, federal investigation in 2022. So stay tuned for that. We'll be uploading it in just a few moments. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you soon. Peace.